This is The Augmentation of Man with Kent and Renee Miller. And we're going to be talking about today all the confusion that exists with all this information that's out there. And people are wondering what to believe anymore.
You're getting both sides of an argument in direct conflict with each other.
And there's a lot of information out there that, people just come to a point where they're saying, what do I believe?
So either you watch TV or you listen to the radio or you listen to people discuss what's going on, and you have conflicting arguments, conflicting results on what's really going on and how this coronavirus began and where it's going, and everything is conflicting.
And it's not just the coronavirus.
Creating a lot of confusion.
But the coronavirus seems to be at the forefront of it right now because our world has come to a standstill and people want answers. But it's not the only thing that is causing us to wonder what's going on. And it's not the only thing that's creating confusion in our world.
Well, you got media, mainstream media, the off-site media, you've got the governments, you've got people discussing this, and it's all causing confusion.
And so we're going to talk primarily about the coronavirus, but it's not only the coronavirus, because there's a lot going on in our world today that is a culmination of energy pathways and agendas that have been set forth going way back in time that are all coming to a culmination at the same time.
You got experts that can't even agree on what they're saying, says Dr. Fauci. First said there's nothing to worry about. Now he's saying we should lock down the whole U.S. So even the experts do not know where this coronavirus, this particular virus, stands, and they don't understand it. So they're shooting from the hip from the very beginning all over the world, not just the United States. And then we're taking in this information a month ago, and now we're taking the information in today, and we're saying, well, this is conflicting with what you said earlier.
So
where are we with that?
Because, one, we have a lot of different agendas going on. And so depending on where you get your source of information, there's going to be a propagation of a certain viewpoint from that source of information. The other thing that is happening is that we are in a state of evolving, continuously evolving. And we are in our understanding, and we are changing the way that we see things, and the way and what we are observing is changing as we are presented with new information.
So, to understand the truth or begin looking for the truth of a particular event, it initially causes confusion because you are deeply trying to search and find out the truth of what happened, why it happened, where it happened, etc.
Right. And so this period of confusion is a time that is breaking down our old belief systems.
Our old paradigm.
And right. So if we're looking at this from a spiritual point of view, all this confusion is breaking down belief systems that we held tightly to before, to allow us the opportunity to find a new, more profound truth.
Now you use the word allow. Those who actually said, okay, I'm going to find out as close as I can what real truth is. And the word allow is the amount of research that you're willing to do to find out what the real truth is. Now, when you do the research, don't be surprised on what you get, because you are trying to find the truth. And so you are open to listening to all sides of a particular event.
That's where we should be. is in this neutral state that we talk about, so that we're open to seeing the truth when we actually are presented with the truth.
Yeah, how many times you've heard us talk about sit in the middle, take the neutral side before you, and then you can begin to understand.
You know, just the other day when Kent was in meditation, we call it meditation, it's really a trance, when he receives this communication. And I asked our guides, what is it that we should be telling people that they should be working on at this period of time? And the answer was that we should be doing our research. This is an opportunity for research when particularly a large part of our population is not working because of the lockdown on this coronavirus, trying to prevent the spread of this coronavirus. And we're at home and we're presented with this time that perhaps we didn't have before. And we can take advantage of that time by doing this research. Just get online and start Googling things. There's so much we can learn, but we have to be able to decipher what the truth is. And so we're going to present our recommendations for how to go about finding that truth.
You have to be diligent in your research. And take it to the very end. Don't stop in the middle, because you tend to put yourself into a position of, I'm this party or that party. When you do research, there's no such thing as party. When I say party, there's no such thing as Republican, Democrat, Independent. You are an individual researching for the truth. You have to take that position to find the truth.
You see,
otherwise you'll stop short.
If we were in a non-incarnate form, if we were just in a spiritual form, we're not in this physical body, we're not going to be Republican or Democrat or Independent or anything like that. Although Independent would probably follow that form the correct way a little more closely, because you're trying to be independent of the mainstream thinking. So we have to think in terms of that we're not polarized. We don't fall into that trap of the polarization. And we have to be able to look at that information and be able to contemplate it instead of rejecting it completely right from the outset. So what we would recommend is spend your time gathering your information, whether it's in books or it's online. Gather your information. It can be even listening to, say, the news, or listening to somebody on YouTube. But take that information
and make notations about the information you get, so you can go back over the data that you've gotten and read it over and try to understand it. Data is going to come from, just here in the United States, from Republicans and from Democrats and from individuals who do not consider themselves either one of those branches or parties. Okay, do not be totally surprised. Make your notations so you can go over it later and understand it better.
And so what you want to do is go back and fact check it by doing the research yourself. So get online and start Googling that those keywords, so that you can check several different sites independently on your own, and then try to come to an understanding of the data that you are gathering, and from there start to connect the dots. What you want to do is, how do these separate things start connecting? How do they relate to each other? How do certain people have connections to other people and their relationships, business or otherwise, and start forming a network, so to speak, of information, of interconnected information.
Once you have your data, you have the background to prove your data from your research, You can go out and tell people, hey, this particular person did this, or this event happened this way. And they say, oh, no, it didn't. Show them your data. You've got that to back up your research. And that's how we change the way the world is thinking. That's how we get people to open up in their eyes and begin to say, well, maybe there's something to this.
So spiritually, this is a period of time of great confusion. It is prompting us to have a deep desire to find the truth, the real truth, the deeper truth, and a more comprehensive truth. And we're presented with a period of time in which many of us are slowed down in our schedules to enable us to do that research.
This is the time to do it now.
There is a lot going on in our world that is going to be revealed in the coming months that's going to be quite shocking to a lot of people. The way our guides say it is causational. Quas, Q-U-A-S-S, if you look it up in a Greek and Latin dictionary, means shaking. It's going to be information that is absolutely shaking us to our core, waking us up to what has been going on in our world, and we are dead asleep, unaware of what's going on.
This has been going on for years. It hasn't been just recently. It's been going on for 25, maybe 30 years, or even longer. We must, if we are able to understand the data in which we research, and then what's coming that will supposedly shaken everyone, you won't be shaken. You'll say, oh, okay, yeah, that fits in with the data that I had gotten.
But also, when we start to talk about corruption in our world and all the wrongdoing in our world, the only way that we can correct it is to be able to wake up to the fact that it exists. So if we are all in a state of bliss and not observing the news, not wanting to know what the truth is, that those atrocities will continue to go on because we're dead. Even though we think of ourselves as being enlightened because we're on a spiritual path, if we don't know what the truth is, we are still universally, the outside entities are calling us dead on the inside because we don't know what the real truth of our world is. And in order to change it in order for us to shift this world, we have to see all that is taking place in this physical realm, and that includes the good, but it also includes the bad and the ugly. And there's a lot of ugly coming down that we need to know about in order to shift our paradigm.
Yeah, the world has to be transparent. They use the word transparency a lot around the world, but nobody is truly transparent except just a few. So by getting this data and be able to understand it, you are moving towards a conceptual learning and understanding. Remember, we talked about conceptual beings. You're moving towards that.
And universally, other entities outside of Earth are considered conceptual beings. This is the way the universe processes information, and this is the way that humanity is being pushed to a conceptual learning in order to have a more panoramic view and understanding of our world and beyond. So we'd like to thank you for joining us today. Do visit our website, verdience.com. Pick up a copy of our books in the Augmentation of Man series, either A Study in Renaissance, which is more spiritually based, or The Acquiescence of Humanity, which talks about where man came from and where man is going, and how the outside world, outside of Earth, all those extraterrestrial entities relate to us.
Yeah, we're going to begin writing our third book probably this year, and it's going to be on a lot of things that are happening now and which led up to it and what is coming. This isn't the only event that we'll see in this line or this order. In the virus event. And we will be coming out with that third book. It'll be smaller than the first two, but it'll be loaded with information.
And the other two also have a lot of information about
Yeah.
what's going on right now and where we're headed. This is all part of our awakening. And so we have to embrace it. We have to learn from it. And then that will take us to new and higher vibration through our newfound understanding.
And that's what it's all about, understanding, learning and understanding. This is why we're here. And for those that want to learn, understand, and look for the truth, we'll be with you in your search. I mean, spiritually, we'll be with you in your search.
Thank you for joining us. Do subscribe to our podcast channel. It's
Anchor FM.
Anchor.fm / the augmentation of man. Thank you. Have a good day now.
Take care.
Take care. And peace be with you on your journey to enlightenment.